Real quick, I want to do a fair use. Yeah. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists in the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners, who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, your Akhwathiam, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Ram Yahawada with the lesson.
This is Dabu 7. Some updates here to this very interesting interstellar object that they've dubbed Atlas. They say that it's a comet making its way in, and they admit the trajectory of it is rather peculiar and suspicious. We have some scientists right at the gate saying that it's not natural. I've reported on these things. They've even gone as far as to say that it could be an alien probe or harness some kind of technology, and that it could be coming to either save us or destroy us. Well, now, they're saying that it's got an unusual brightness, suggesting that this is not a common thing. And they go on now to say that the diameter is of 12 miles. Okay, in the initial reports, they were saying 7. It's now 12. Now they're saying that on July 21st, the Hubble telescope caught a glowing area at the front, something that's never before been observed in a comet. That is their exact words. They're saying, what is it? Why is it glowing like this in the front, like a headlight or something? Why is it dropping down into our plane on a trajectory that there's a 0.2% chance that it's natural? Now, I'm going off the data, guys. I'm not trying to go off a hype, conspiracy, or anything. We want the facts, we want the truth. We know some of the objects that's come through here before have been super suspect. But they put the name on a Muamua that meant scout. And then when you looked at a Muamua, long, cylindrical, metallic in nature, picked up speed when it left off out of here, those are all facts. It's not conspiracy. These are facts. So we've got this massive interstellar object, the largest ever on record, moving the fastest they've ever seen anything move on record. Now, this, what they want to call a comet, is coming in, glowing in the front. And they're saying that a comet doesn't glow in the front. That's their exact words here. And we've seen comets, the whole thing glows like uniformly, and has a long tail. And when it gets closer to the sun, it can even have 2 tails. The ionized tail, okay? We've tracked these and seen these over and over when they're comets. This thing, as you can see in the left image, in the center image, displays no tail. They're asking what and how. And some of the scientists are saying just that. Like, well, if this is a comet, as they say, where's the tail? And they're pointing at these images. All this data is saying there is no tail. Instead, it's got an odd glow on the front of it that a comet shouldn't have, that you can see in the right image. So, odd details, indeed, coming out about this thing. They're saying that it's just not a natural thing. They keep hinting at this and making these statements. It's not natural. It's on a very finely tuned trajectory. Is what one scientist here says. And when it comes into close approach, we're not going to be able to see it because it's going to come right in past all the major planets, just perfect to observe everything, and then hide behind the sun when it gets to its closest point. Although they say it's not being affected by the sun because it's moving at such a fast speed. Timing and all this very interesting. Regardless, this is an interesting one, guys. Going to keep tabs on this. I'll update as I get more information. Join me for the live streams going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Dabu 77.
Yeah, so I'm gonna add this video right here. This is Masonic DC Trump secret war on satanic forces running America. Well, Trump will have to be part of that satanic force, because there's no way you become president twice, right? Especially if you're a righteous person. There's no way, if you slip through the cracks somehow the first time, you definitely wouldn't be back a second term, right? You're part of the satanic establishment, right? Because you're Esau Edom. See, but at the same time, they're setting up this scenario, right? You know, what's his name? Reagan said, if there's someone who come from outer space, because why did he use outer space as an example, knowing that's where the Lord is coming from the Shemaims? Wouldn't they all join together? So they're basically setting up a scenario, because they know that deliverance and judgment is about to come to America, to Babylon, right? Especially, well, to the world, but the main place is Babylon the Great, and I believe they know that, right? And it's based on their well, it's another video too, just to show you that they're setting up their narrative, right? So
infiltrated at the higher levels, and this is something that I've been able to confirm, that Freemasonry today at the 33-degree level, those that achieve that rank typically have very positive views about Freemasonry and helping establish their goals, their positive goals. But at that level, 33rd degree, they are introduced to the deeper, darker mysteries, and they swear allegiance to these satanic forces. And these satanic forces are connected to extraterrestrial life that many Freemasons at that higher level believe who it was that established the ruling bloodline families going all the way back to Sumeria, Babylon, and so forth. And so these ruling bloodline families, they believe that they are the direct descendants of the gods, or the Anunnaki, the fallen angels, whatever you want to call them, and that those who are worthy of...
Right, see, they're setting up their narrative, because I know a lot of people don't really understand that, right? We, the Israelites, are what they call the Anunnaki, the fallen, because that's what it was. We were, you know, it basically means to be renowned. We were the top people. We're renowned, and we fell, and we're at the bottom, where people are overlooking us, right? We're the Lord's hidden ones. We're overlooked, right? It's talking about the Israelites, not talking about some fallen angels that all of a sudden they're secretly being demonic and this and that, as if the Lord is not omnipotent or omnipresent, right? As if he don't have power over all things, as if angels, or what people will say demons, can decide to choose that they're not going to serve the Lord. That's not a real thing, right? All angels on the left hand side, right, which you call demons, and all angels are on the right hand side, are in perfect order with the Most High. They cannot leave the order or the ranking file of what the Most High set them up to do, right? You don't even have free will. Free will is not even in the Bible for a human being, let alone for an angel. But see, this scenario to those who don't have understanding, right?
Of the truth will be initiated into those truths. So that's how they establish secret societies. But it is something that is segregated from the most practitioners of Freemasonry, who know nothing about this up until the 33-degree level. And if they progress beyond that, then they're initiated into the kind of satanic practices that what enables a lot of these ruling bloodline families to get their power and to control the rest of the world.
A lot of people in our chat room are saying you're spot on about this, and there's some really deep, dark forces here with this. But a lot of people in our chat room saying that this even goes much higher than sort of like the levels that we know about in Freemasonry. There's like a whole other section of levels inside of this. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that. A number of people in our chat room are saying that.
Yes, well, those that progress beyond the 33 degree level, they are initiated into all of these occult programs dealing with extraterrestrial technology, ancient builder race technologies, and even being a part of these meetings with visiting extraterrestrials. There are both positive and negative extraterrestrials. The US government in the 1950s under the Eisenhower administration made agreements with some of these extraterrestrial races, and they have joint projects. So people who are initiated at those higher Freemasonry levels are part of those classified programs. People call them unacknowledged special access.
See, that's how you know Esau. In order to say a lie or speak a lie or to try to confuse someone, you have to know the truth. So he said there are good angels and there are bad angels, right? So that's the truth. But you spoke to him and you made this deal with the good ones. No, you made the deal with Satan. You guys speak with Satan. You pray to Satan. That's who you're allegiant to. Because what good have you did? If you're linked to the good angels, what good have you did? We know about Aleister Crowley. We know about him being a Freemason. We know about was it Albert Pike, right? Who told you that you're gonna have to have 3 world wars, allegedly, right? So here you are. You're about to have your 3rd World War, right on schedule with. So when did you make this deal with the good angels? See, but you got to know the lie in order. You got to know the truth in order to spin a lie, spin your web, right? But the thing about that is you're about to fall into your own trap.
Programs, and they will go wherever there's a crashed UFO, wherever an extraterrestrial is captured, wherever they find some ancient technologies, such as in Antarctica and so forth. There'll always be a high-level Freemason there above the 33 degree level who will essentially kind of like take control of the situation. And you have the military, which is merit-based. Obviously, they are also having a very keen interest in all of these technologies and these extraterrestrials that are part of how the planet is governed. And so there's a power struggle between these high-level Freemasons above 33 degree and the military, the rank-and-file military, who want to take control of these advanced technologies for the betterment of society. And so this power...
Yeah. See, you gotta know truth in order to spin a lie. So that's actually happening. There is sort of a power struggle between the elites, but it's not because one is trying to be good and trying to conquer the evil. No, they all have the same agenda, but one has a different outlook of how it should go about. So they're struggling of who should do it, or maybe even over the power, because who will wield the power over it for the next several hundreds of years. So that might be the more reason why they're struggling, but it's not because they're looking to be good, right?
Struggle, I think, is what's reflected in what's happening in Washington, D.C. now. I think Trump federalizing police in Washington, D.C. has much more to do than just dealing with criminals, petty crime, homeless vagrants, and so forth in Washington, D.C. This is the move that the White Hats have been waiting for, to finally take out the satanic cults that are in charge of Washington, D.C. and of these deep, dark projects that are all about control of these advanced extraterrestrial technologies. And the pentagram that you showed earlier on is vividly demonstrates how this was from the very beginning envisaged by these higher level Freemasons. Now, many critics will say, well, that's not a pentagram, that's something else, because you don't see it joined. You see the line from that one of the lines doesn't extend across to complete the pentagram. Well, actually, in occult circles, this is described as an incomplete or broken pentagram. Now, a pentagram normally is something that you can use to protect yourself from satanic forces, but the broken pentagram is an invitation for satanic forces to come out. And so you have that pentagram immediately above Washington, D.C. And I think this is what the intent was from the very beginning, that at some point Washington, D.C. Would really be subverted from its goal of, or the original intent was to establish the new Atlantis, something positive and hopeful for all humanity, but instead through
Yeah. So there you go. So they're setting up the narrative and everything like that. And you have this also on Redacted. There are four alien species here on Earth, and then they're saying they're already here, right? So
there are people that tell me that they're able to use their consciousness to be able to call in some kind of craft, and sometimes these people profess to be Christians.
Which there was a brother who actually was able to call in a chariot, and the chariots would come when he would speak. I remember when I first came into the truth, and everybody, he's wicked, he's this and that. But hey, he did that. He'd go out there and call a chariot, and the chariot would pop out when he called, and that did make national news. So
some are not, which is interesting. The whole religious aspect just really keeps coming up in this topic. And so it really almost seems inescapable from spirituality and religion.
Yeah, I know that's something that friend of the show, Tucker Carlson, he and I have talked about this at length, is the idea of the religious side of this, the angel side of this, and all of that. And I will say that the sort of the telepathy aspect of this story that you've been hearing is repeated countless times by people who've been in the secret space program, who are whistleblowers who've come forward in the secret space program. One of the reasons they've been chosen to be a part of the secret space program is because of that telepathy ability. Like they're in a higher level of consciousness. We've had U.S. Air Force whistleblowers on our show who were part of the secret space program, who've been to the moon base. You can believe it or not, but it's sort of up to people to make their own decisions about this. I guess I'll get you out of here on this, Congressman. I'm disturbed by. So you sat next to a Pentagon scientist, well-respected Pentagon scientist, who is telling you to your face that there are 4 classifications of aliens. He's either seen them or has had contact. You've had private conversations with individuals who've confirmed the same thing as a member of Congress. And then YouTube puts up a disclaimer under that hearing's video. So I just want to put this. And this, I think, speaks to how they try to downplay this stuff, and whether it's deep state actors or whomever is involved, the CIA, and they put this little disclaimer underneath videos where you're not allowed to tell the truth. And it says reptilian humanoid, Wikipedia. Reptilian humanoids, also known as reptiloids, they're from mythology. They're folklore, Congressman. They're science fiction, and they're part of modern conspiracy theories. Like, this is YouTube putting a disclaimer underneath a sitting member of Congress interviewing a Pentagon scientist. They're like, what's your take on how the media handles this stuff?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And I'm going to do verse 1, and then the subheadings, man of lawlessness. The man of lawlessness over here for the NIV. And basically I'm just go back and forth between the KJV and the NIV in this. And So this is just common thing. We try to ask people, basically lawlessness, right? The man of lawlessness. What is why? Because we try to ask you who runs the world, right? Who is in rulership over the world? Who's running things? And that's a clue, a very very big clue, because it was Job 9:24 tells you the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, and where and who is he? Who is that? That's a big clue. That right there is trying to give you a clue. Who is that? Right? We know it's not the Chinese, right? We know it's not the Arabs, right? Though they try to give you that. The Arabs, see, he has a sword. Nope. He said he's in control of the world. And then he covered the faces of the judges, right? So he changed the judges from dark images to so-called white images. The Arabs did not do that. The Arabs are not white. Because if the Arabs did that, before Esau, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, right, conquered the world, Ishmael, right, goes back, one of his sons was named Kedar, and Kedar meaning dark skin. They were dark-skinned men. But since Esau started ruling the world, it's lightened up a lot of the nationalities. A lot of the nationalities are lightened up. There's a lot of white-looking Chinese people, which we know that those really are more darker-skinned people. Initially, the darker-skinned Chinese people, they never show on TV, right? Just like in Russia, just like in anywhere. So you know that in itself is whitewashing the world. So that's like a form of iconoclasm to the world, not just into paintings and archaeological finds. So it's the lawlessness of this man, because why? He runs the world. Who could tell him what to do? And so it says, we beseech you, brethren, right? And that's where we're at right now. We're in the time of reaching out into the lost tribes of the nation of Israel, right? To the actual Gentiles, which are Israelites, right? And trying to beseech them, beg them, plead them to come back, right? By the coming of our Lord, right? And we know this is the second coming of Yahushua, where this time he's not coming back as a quiet lamb, right? He was quiet. They were buffeting him, punching him in the face. He didn't say a word. He allowed himself to be a sacrifice, right? He gave up his life, right? And it says, coming of our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, and by our gathering together. Ooh, nice. Yeah, by our gathering together unto him, right? Yeah, Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1 says, gather yourselves together, see? Yea, gather together, O nation not desired, right? So we're speaking to the Israelites, to the Gentiles, which are Israelites, right? Which we call Israelite foreigners, right? Or strangers, right? These are Israelites. The Gentiles are the Israelites. So we're calling them back to their heritage. We're gathering back together to the coming of the day of our Lord. It says, before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the World War III has these ICBM missiles shot off in all sorts of different countries, and especially the main places here, in Babylon the Great, where the Lord has his indignation and his anger to turn this place into a desert, to have so much fire shot upon this place ends up being a lake of fire, right? That's how much it's going to burn. It's going to burn up all the elements. The elements shall melt with fervent heat, as it says in Peter, right? As the chaff, right? And then when chaff is when everything completely just burnt to nothing, till it's just chaff. It's just just, I wouldn't even say stubble, which is just like sand. It's basically nothing, before the fiery anger of Yahweh, right? There was only begotten son, which is Yahweh Shai, come upon you before the day of Yahweh's anger, right? There was only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, come upon you, right? His anger come upon you. And that's the time that we're in. Seek ye Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, all ye meek of the earth, right? And that's the calling out. That's the elect. The elect is going to be meek, right? You're not going to be dwelling in a lot of pride, not in hate, strife, envy, debates. You're not going to be in all that type of thing, right? So, yeah, that's the meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment, right? Which means when you go into the word wrought, at least what I looked up, one of the definitions is to be beaten, because the Lord said that he finds his anointed in the furnace of adversity. So when you talk about wrought, it's basically taking metal, putting it in fire, pulling it out, and then beating it, shaping it, right? And then that through that rotting and being shaped, we're supposed to be shaped to be like his son, Yahweh Shai, rot, which have wrought to his judgment. So you have the judgment, the thoughts, like Yahweh Shai. Seek righteousness, right? Seek meekness. See, that's like Yahweh Shai. And it may be ye shall be hid. See, so it ain't of you that I'm saved already. No one's saved until the Lord comes and save you, because that's what it said. It may be ye shall be hidden in the day of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai's anger. See, that you may be hidden. It's not a guarantee. So this is the hope of the saints, the Israelites. Yeah, back here, 2 Thessalonians 2, and I'm gonna do 2 and 1 in the NIV. Says concerning the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, right? Because the letter J is only 4,500 years old. Christ is a Greek word. The Lord is a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah, right? So he would not be speaking Greek, right? And are being gathered, right? See, to him we ask you, brother and sisters, right? That ye be not soon shaken, going back to the KJV, in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that the day of Hamashiach is at hand, right? So every day, because you don't know when he's coming. He says he's coming like a thief in the night. You don't know when Hamashiach is coming, right? And the date, and then if you look at the signs, it's definitely at hand, right? Now this flying object that's coming here is not 7 miles anymore. They said it's 12 miles now. Yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. See? And that's ultimately what it is, man. Because you believe, you heard the word, you held on to it. You can't be shaken in mind because of whatever that's happening and this and that, and these things are occurring. You don't get shaken and get afraid. You hold on to what the Lord has told you, has taught us, what you have learned, right? With patience, even though you're suffering, right? Because patience meaning suffer, because they're planning to make everyone homeless, as you could see. I mean, I don't know how people can't see it. They plan to make everyone homeless, and then they made homelessness illegal, pretty much, while they're systematically tearing down the middle class and making people homeless, right? And I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. See, and see, the time of our Lord is at hand. So now we're in the time of the hour of temptation, right? Which shall come upon all the world, and to try them. See, everybody's going to go through a test. To try someone is a test, right? And that's part of the being rotted too. To rot something, you put it in the fire, you burn off all the impurities, you're beating it, you're shaping it, and as you're doing that, and then you put it into the water again, and then you test it. You test the strength. The thing you're testing it. You're trying it. Maybe try to see if you can bend it this way, bend it that. Okay, now you put it back into the fire, bend it, beat it, and shape it. So you can get tried and tested. Hey, the furnace of adversity. You have to go through it. You're gonna be tried. To try them that dwell upon the earth. And that's everybody. Anybody who's alive, you got to get tried. You're gonna get tested. Behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. I come quickly. See, so you don't know when the Lord is coming. The day of the Lord is at hand. So you got to hold on to the belief. You got to hold on to Yahweh Shai. All right. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast, right? Oh, it's beautiful. Hold that fast, which does has, right? Your knowledge, that no man take thy crown. See, you got to hold on to what you have learned. The Lord said that your teacher should not be removed into a corner anymore. So you got to hold on fast to what your teachers have taught you, right? And if you had some janky teachers, you're in trouble. You have teachers telling you that Jacob's trouble is not a thing, and the charagma is spiritual, and there ain't going to be any famine. There ain't going to be any pestilence. There ain't going to be any martial law and race wars. There ain't going to be nothing but love, 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 and prosperity, and let's marry, and let's have marriages, and let's just make sure we have a family in God, right? Hey, you're in trouble because we ain't living in those times, right? He that overcometh, right? Because it's a time you're going to have to overcome. You have to come your adversities, your anxieties, your frustrations, your and one thing that messes up people a lot is not knowing, the uncertainties. But there is a certainty. The scriptures. There's a lot of uncertainties in the world, but the certainty is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But you have to know that, right? And it says, him that overcome, I will make him a pillar. See, the Lord's going to make you and a pillar is part of the structure of a building that keeps it firm, keeps it from moving, keeps it from collapsing. You got to be able to be a pillar to make sure things don't collapse. That it stands where it may be. You're not moved, right? In the temple of my power, right? See, so you stay in the faith, you stay in the truth. You're not moving or shaking in mind, and you hold fast to that which you have learned, right? You're a pillar. You're unmovable in the temple of my power, Yahweh, right? And he shall go no more out, and I will write unto him the name of my power, which is Yahweh, the Most High, and the name of the city, which is New Jerusalem, which is the same name, but it's just going to be kainos. It's going to be different. So once you say it's going to have, because you could say Jerusalem or Yerushalayim, some people say, but it's not going to have the same power once the Lord gives it to you again. It's just going to be a kainos, but the kainos this time it's going to have power. It's going to make action to move. When you say Yahweh, things are going to move. When you say Bahasham Yahweh Shai, things are going to move pronto, right? And the proof of that is when you read in the I forgot what book is in, but it tells you that the Lord said that your prayers will be answered before you finish. That's showing you the power within knowing and having that name and having it being kainos. Your prayer is going to be answered before you finish your prayer. That's complete action to that. More power than how we say now. Now saying it now does have power, and I say don't. But when he gives it to you new, forget about it, right? Right? The name of the city of my power, which is Yahweh, which is the new Jerusalem, right? Jerusalem, right? See, told you. And it says, which cometh down from heaven, right? And who's coming down from heaven? That's the elect. The 144,000 as a governing body, which is going to have power, which is going to have a direct connection to the Father. See, so that proves it. Yeah, so it's going to have a direct connection to the Father. So things are going to move. Things are going to happen in that day when the elect come down from the chariots, right? Down from heaven, from my power, and I will write upon him my name, which is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh, write upon him my new name, which is Yahweh Shai. But this time it's gonna have that. It's gonna have the power behind it, for sure. Like, man. Yeah. So this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Start at 2, and this time it's gonna be in the NIV. Says not to become easily unsettled or alarmed by the teaching allegedly from us, rather by prophecy or by word of mouth, right? And yeah, like allegedly by us, basically saying, because some people say, hey, those guys teach this, they teach that. It's those guys. No, we're breaking down the way the Bible. This is thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible, not our own opinions, not plantation Christianity, not by the precepts of men, but by the word of the power, right? And that's it, right? So it's not us, it's allegedly through us, but it's through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And it says, and it's by prophecy, right? Because most time we're going to, the main thing is to go into what prophecy, or by word. You might have another, hey, you ever heard the so-called Black, Hispanic, Canadians, or the Israelites? And you start breaking it down. So by word of mouth, people, you know what I mean? People are getting it, and the biggest, the internet does the heavy lifting at the end of the day, right? Or by letter, right? And these are the letters, the epistles, scriptures, exerting, right, pushing the issue that the day of the Lord is at hand. The day of Yahweh Shai is at hand, and we're not talking about. It's already come, and not that it's already come like he's came and he's gone. It's already come as far as it's here. It's now. It's here now. It's come. Kind of like the day under Esau's thing. Midnight represents the new day, but it's still dark, and then you don't see the sun come up to about 5 to 6 hours later, which most people recognize that as the day. Now the sun's out. That's daytime, but technically, at midnight, that's daytime. That's the new day, right? According to Esau, right? So, basically, it's at hand. It's there. It's ready. It's already come. So we're trying to when you wake up, like I said, the day has come. The night is far spent, and the day has come. That our Lord, the day is at hand. The night is far spent, man. It's time to get into announcement. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day, right, shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, right? And that the falling away was 70 AD, right? Under, Titus and Vespasian, right? 1 million Jews fled into Africa, right? Right? And it'll tell you so-called black Jews, right? Because that's what people would say, right? When you read that, the Babylon to Timbuktu, right? Which we're not black, we're brown, many shades of brown, but yeah, it's dark skin, and people would say black. People say black, but dark skin, dark brown to light brown. It says, do not let anyone deceive you in any way, for that day will not come until the rebellion occur, right? And now, Jake was rebelling in that time, 70 AD. They didn't want to pay the taxes, this and that, the Sakari, the Zealots, they were rebellion, which everything's going to be full circle because it says, the wicked shall be against them. When you go into that word wicked, it means the wretched ones or the workers. The workers are going to come against this place, man. Right? In Job 20. So it's all, everything is full circle. There's nothing new under the sun. So it says, and the man of lawlessness, that's Esau, because nobody can't tell him nothing. He's lawless, is revealed. The man of doom to destruction. Yeah, so this is From Babylon to Timbuktu by Ronald R. Windsor. Right? That's his name right there. All right. All right. This is a must-have. If you don't have it, you should definitely get it. Right? Yeah, so this is Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84. It says the African, they try to put Jewish, but Jews, right, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, population in the year 65 BC, the Romans army under General Ptolemy, right, captured Jerusalem, right? So they ruled over Jerusalem for a while, right? And in 70 AD, which is years later, this is 70 AD, which is after death, right? Because they used to say is before Christ, and then after his death, right? That's what they used to do it like that, to let you know that was, before, because the Lord was like, when he was born, it was like the middle of, in between, like the middle between the BC and between AD before he died. And then that's what they used to use. AD would be after his death. Normally, that's what they used to do, right? General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jews' state with great slaughter during the period of the military governor of Palestine. Many outrageous and egregious were committed among the residue of the people during the period from Ptolemy to Julius. It has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, right? Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave market were filled of black Jewish slaves. See? Right? Yeah, and then he even gives oh, that's beautiful. I didn't even notice he did that. And the Lord shall scatter thee amongst all people, right? One end of the earth even to the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone, right? Deuteronomy 28:64, right? Wow. See? Yeah, and that happened. right? This is Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 43. Salakia. It says, but the day of doom, right, and that's the time that's coming, the son of perdition, right, which is Esau Edom, his day of doom, right, because he's about to be destroyed, shall be the end of this time. See, this world, this present world is going to be ending. The world abides forever, but this present world is going to end, and the beginning of immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. So the all this vow, madness that goes on with unrighteousness, unbalance. How can you have a bunch of people super rich, and then other people super poor, and there's no balance, there's no in between, right? I mean, that's why it's essential that you have a middle class, but they're talking about wiping out the middle class, and there's no balance, right? So it says intemperance is at an end, right? Infidelity, right? It's unfaithful. It's cut off, right? But got a lot of divorces because of adultery. You got a lot of people falling out from the faith. They don't have no faith. They don't have fidelity for the faith. They're falling off, right? So if you don't got a fidelity for your marriage, you don't got fidelity for your faith. I mean, like the scriptures tell you, hey, Esau don't even have that for his own people. If he be bad to himself, whom will he be good to? So when you got people and things like that, and as the ruler, so are the people. Hey, now we're in a time where it says the love of many shall wax cold, and that's where we're at. So all that has to be cut off, right? Infidelity is cut off. Righteousness grown, and truth is sprung up. See, and that's what we need. We need that truth to spring up, man, to be in full control. It says, where then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed. See, now once Esau be destroyed, there's no nation that's going to be able to come and say, oh well, you know what, we'll give you a helping hand. We'll give you some money towards your debt or whatever, or we'll bring in some military power to come help you. No, he's just getting wiped out, and that's why the Lord's going to invite all of them to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat to wipe them all out at one time. So there will be no help at all, right? You're going to just be destroyed. You're the son of perdition. You're the son of destruction. You're the man of destruction, right? And you're going to basically destroy your own self. And it says, nor to oppress him that got in the victory, right? And you're not going to oppress the Israelites anymore. You're not going to be able to put us in slavery anymore, right? First it was, the Romans came and got us. You got the Arab slave trade. Then you got the transatlantic slave trade. Hey, look, ain't going to be no more slave trade. The only slave trade is going to be is you this time, right? You're going to fall into your own ditch, right? Yeah, here we go. So back to the 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. It says, who oppresseth and exalt himself, right? See, that's what you were. You just that oppressor. You're the slave driver, the master, right? But no more. You're not going to be being able to oppress us. He will oppress and will exalt himself over everything that is called God, right? And see, and we're Yasha, right? You got the Most High God, Yahweh. You got Yahweh Shai, which is also a God, right? Which is the Son. And you got the angels, that's God, right? Then you got the Israelites, who are also angels in body, who are also gods. So you triumph and put yourself over all that is called God, all the way to the actual Most High, and his Son. So hey, you're in trouble, Esau, right? Above all that is, saw himself above all that is called God, right? Or that is worshipped, so that he as a power sitteth in the temple of power of the Most High, trusted in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the power, and that's what this MOTB is, man. This Palantir, this Hapsir, is to show you that you're God, that you can have ultimate surveillance, and you could be everywhere at one time and have power and have control over it. It says exalt himself over everything that is called power or is worshipped, so that he setteth himself up in God's temple, right? Proclaiming himself to be God. And that's ultimately that's what this Palantir, the Karagma, Karax Grapho, that's what this was all going to do. And that's what Trump is setting up, right? And then you hear this guy, well, I think it's because he's trying to get away from the demon, and that's the trick. Trying to transform himself into an angel of light, which that ain't working anymore, right? You know, I think even somebody said on the show, on the thing, that guy, if you go in the comments, the guy said the guy who was speaking was a 33-degree Mason. He said, dude, you're not fooling anybody. You're a Mason, right? So, hey, it is what it is, man. It says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. See, do not you remember that when I was with you, I used to tell you these things, right? Yeah, all this stuff is going to happen, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. See, and that's the time. This is the time is now, the time that knowledge shall increase, right? He's revealed, and now you know what is holding him back, right? And that's just being able to push the Karagma on a high level. That's the only thing that's holding everything back right now. You know, which he's getting ready to push that soon. They're gonna make some type of a health crisis or something, you know, allegedly, and then, you know, have it where everybody has to you know, to be registered for some type of reason, or even some more what do you call it, T attacks, right? And then now everybody has to register, because now there's a crisis, and we need to know who everybody is, so we can know who's who and what's what. So that way your identification has to be checked at every checkpoint. So you must have the Karagma Karax Grapho. And of course, they already was speaking about wearing a wearable device first and foremost to get you used to it, right? All right. So it says, so that he may be revealed at the proper time, right? Yeah. See, yeah. That's that's what it is. You're going to be revealed at the proper time, and that's now, right? If anybody knows, for the mystery of iniquity, right? And that's what's happening in the world. Are you going to try to make me believe Donald J. Trump gives a damn about the Freemasons and witchcraft and this and that, and he's trying to, man, he's part of it, bro. Yeah, he sits up there and throws up 666. He puts his hand in the pyramid when he stands up there, throwing up the Baphomet, putting up the pyramids, shaking his hand as a Mason. You can't be that unless you're part of the family, right? He has to be related to them, right? Because every president has been related. You know what I mean? They ain't just came out and said he was, but you have to be. It's been a continuous thing for quite some time. So, hey, there it ain't a mystery anymore. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Yeah, see, they're doing it, but now it ain't so much of a mystery anymore. Only he who letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. See, and that's the Most High. So we know that the Lord is allowing all these things to happen until the time that you're about to get destroyed, until the doom, to the day of doom, and then you're going to be destroyed for the secret powers of lawlessness, right? And that's Esau is already at work, right? And they're pushing forth the Palantir, the Golden Dome, Hapsir, right? The RFID, micro C-HIP, right? They're pushing that. That's that lawlessness, the wickedness already at work. But the one who holds it back while continuing to do so until he is taken out of the way. So you're gonna fall into your own ditch, right? It says, and when shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord out of one, which is Yahweh Shai, starting with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, starting with the prophets, but it's going to be really the spirit of his mouth at the bottom of that chariot, right? When you read it in 2nd Ezra 13, it says it opens up the mouth and the lips and sparks and tempests. And the only thing that was left to perceive was dust and smell of smoke out of that lip. You never seen him hold up sword nor instrument of war, but only out of that lip, out of the mouth, shot forth that fire, right? So it says, with the brightness of his coming, yeah, and destroy with the brightness of his coming. It says, and then the lawless one will be revealed, whom the Lord, right? And that's ultimately when it's really when Yahweh Shai show up, and bro. But you're gonna see it now because he's starting to show his horns to basically lock down DC like that and give all these hints that he's gonna do it to New York and Chicago and really once you get those places, those are the most roughest places on the planet and have the most population. If they can lock those down, it's a lot easier to get the rest of the country locked down, right? You know, because those are the heavily populated areas. So which makes sense why we're talking about doing it that way. Revealed whom the Lord Yahweh Shai. Well, yeah, see, but that's why I say I know it's Yahweh, but you got to start with Yahweh Bashem. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai will overthrow with the breath of his mouth, right? Which that's with the chariot. That fathership, the one that flying mountain, and the mouth of his mouth, and destroy by the splendor of the splendor. It's like the splendor of his coming, right? Hey, and that's that spark, that high concentrated fire from laser beam from the chariot, from that fathership, from that flying mountain. Even him who's coming is after the works of Satan. See, and that's ultimately what's going on in DC, the works of Satan. As you can see, that guy was speaking about it, but he's part of it. Trump is part about it. The whole Congress is part of it, right? Even the Black Boule Congress people, they're all part of it. They all worship Satan, right? Satan, right? The spiritual demon Satan, which we have our physical counterpart of Satan. Satan meaning adversary, our enemy, is Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, is our enemy, our physical counterpart, for our physical enemy on this earth, right? He's our physical opposition on earth. Then you have our spiritual opposition, because we still got to battle against spirits, right? And that's why, matter of fact, let's get that, and then I'm going to close out and come back here and then close out. Yeah, this is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, right, and sisters, right, be strong in the outer one, right, which is Yahweh Shai, right, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But, Yahweh Shai is how we get to Yahweh, right, and in the power of his might, right, because the Lord's going to come mighty, man, and we got to hold on to that, because it's going to look like Esau. Whew. I mean, some of the guns and the equipment and the things that Esau has in store, there's some shit, some things we ain't never seen before. You're gonna be like, oh, but you got to hold on to. You got to know the Lord. The Lord is coming, man. The Lord is way mightier than that guy. Put on the whole armor, of the power of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Right? It's craftiness, it's cunning, his devices. Right? When you really go into that, devices, which is the Karagma, Karak Scraffle, the micro C hip, and all these other devices. Right? A robot is a device. A laser weapon is a device. A microwave gun is a device. That's why the Lord said there's no weapon formed against thee shall prosper. So they formed all sorts of weapons. He's the smith. So all they do is form weapons, right? For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, right? Because ultimately it starts in the spirit first. So that's where we're at right now. Right now we're in a spiritual battle, but this spiritual battle is going to become physical. So we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but against principalities, right? Against powers and against rulers, right? The rulers, this present world, the rulers, these Edomites, they're in rulership over us. It's not talking about the actual spiritual demon Satan. He don't have no rule over us, the spiritual demon Satan, but the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan does, which is Esau Edom, our adversary, our physical adversary. We have the spiritual adversary, which is Satan, right? Which he's just in concordance with the Most High, right? When you sin, he sends Satan to correct you, so to speak, right? Now something bad happens to you to get you to realize to turn back. But then you have this this physical counterpart that oppresses you physically, enslavement. If it wasn't chains and things on your neck, now it's upon your mind, and now it's upon pushing debt and all sorts of things, and now a digital enslavement, right? Where they could see and know everywhere you at, where you are, what you eat, what you sleep, everything that you do, and they're in control of it all. That's their thing. So they could be God, set themselves up as God, right? And it says, against powers and against rulers of darkness of this world. See, of this world. See, Satan ain't in this particular world. I mean, he comes to the world to influence people to do wickedness, but that's all he has. He has the power of influence. Satan, which is the self-proclaimed so-called white man, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, has power to do much more, to oppress us, to do all these different things, stop and frisk and this and that. That's just completely oppress us. But it's a time that it's coming where he will no longer be able to oppress us, and he will never be able to do anything against those who have the victory over this place, right? Right? Against darkness of this world and against spiritual wickedness in high places, because they worship Satan. They pray to Satan. And they're constantly doing, like a lot of these celebrities that's all of a sudden dying. A lot of those are all rituals, right? Seances and things. They can have that power of seduction over people. Yes, and yes, it's even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power, right? He got military, he got all these different things. He got the news, he got all sorts of things, and signs and lying wonders, right? You know, he'll use what the Lord has. Oh, there was a strawberry moon, and there's this and there's that. Oh, by the way, there's this interstellar thing that's coming this way, and by the way, there's 4 different types of aliens, right? Not giving reverence that in the ships are angels, and you're right, there are good and there are bad, but they all work for the Most High. The angels work for the Most High, right? But his thing is, Satan is deceiving him. That's what he ain't understanding. So he think Satan from you just do this and you're gonna win. But Satan works for the Most High. It says the coming of right, because he's gonna come down with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time. The coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with how Satan works, right? Cunning. It's a cunning hunter. He got to supplant you. It has to be gradualism, right? You got to get used to it, right? He will use all sorts of displays of power through signs and wonders, right? The micro C hip. Oh, look, you can see now. Oh, look, you could put this in your, and you could think, and you could order your Amazon just from your mind. You could think and it'll call somebody. You need a prosthetic arm, leg. You put the micro C hip in your head, and now when you think, the prosthetic arm or the robotic arm will move and function, and now you have this ability to live life pretty much like normal now, right? You know, and then not to mention, of course, it's gonna cause all, because when there ain't no food and this and that and that, He's gonna give you an offer you can't refuse, right? Hey, you're gonna die, or you're gonna take the Kragma and live. It's up to you. It's your choice. See, and that's the part of causing you, right? Making it to where there's no choice. I can't do nothing. The jobs they say you have to have this. Oh, I can't do that because the things, they say this and that. It's not me. It's and that's Satan. Pretty much what he did under the CV-19. He basically forced the industries, the companies, to make people wear the the thing that go over your mouth, right? And then said he had nothing to do with it. Then he pretty much forced the companies, if they didn't do that they can, didn't give you the icky vicky, that they could be shut down. But then step back and say, well, we didn't have nothing to do with it. That was no law. We didn't pass a law saying that you had to do it. But you put the pressure on the companies to do it, right? So that's that cunning way that they have way to push over to this, right? And then it says of displaying power, right, through signs and wonders that serves the lie, right? Yeah, see, it's gonna serve the lie. It's gonna look purposeful. It's gonna look good, but it's all to serve the lie, right? To keep the lie up, right? Pretty much what you should know that. He said Epstein files. I'll bring out the Epstein files. He get into office. He signs all sorts of executive orders. They say more executive orders, because they said the person who signed the most executive orders was Obama. So this dude signed more executive orders than Obama in less than 6 months. So there's some foul workings and dealings with that. So with all that, I'm going to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to your sister Yoachwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and above all, Kwam Yasharallah.